Hi and welcome to the channel. Now today's video is about this Harman Kardon Citation 17 amplifier. I will show you a picture of the front anyway, but there it is. Hopefully you can see it on the bench. I had a subscriber about an hour or so ago, I think, sent me a message through saying that he seen this on the previous video where I actually took the front off and took the foam that kind of would start to deteriorate quite badly if I left it any longer. That foam been sitting there probably for about 50 years. It will crumble away, so lucky enough I've got that out in time. I haven't replaced it, I've just put the front back on. It needs something maybe to put on the front to stop the dust getting back in there over a period of time. But I've left it as is at the moment. He asked me what did I think of it and would I do a review of it. Now, I'm not going to do an actual review sound-wise of it. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about it. And I don't really think I've got, this was top of the range back in its day in 1975. It's like, say, about $500. This is right at the top of the tree, and to get the most out of it, you would need a decent amplifier, like to get every note, every detail out of it. Well, I'm not saying my amplifiers are rubbish, but they're not in the kind of class this would be associated with, if you know what I mean. I'll be kind of mix matching a bit. Also, this probably needs a recap as well. Going on a few forums and places, I've been reading up a little bit about this over the last few days. Everyone seems to think once you've got one of these second hand, then get it recapped. They do kits for it. You can buy them in the US on eBay. They do the kit for about $170, £140 here in the UK. And once you do that, apparently this really shines. This really sparkles. This really sounds nice. Only going by what people said. This is not my review. This is just reading other forums and that. Even to one degree that one bloke, I think, if I read it correctly, and I think that subscriber also mentioned it in his comment on my previous video, that one bloke actually had a £4,000 Rotel, I think it was, preamp, and he said this outshone that once it got recapped, and he said I think he paid about 250 quid or $400, somewhere around there, to get it recapped. So yeah, so it's going to cost you a few quid to get it right, but once you get it right, apparently this is really good. So I'm going to show you a few pictures inside. I'm going to show you a few controls at the front, some pictures at the back, and tell you about how I actually got it working, kind of thing as well. So okay, it's just to very quickly look at the front. I won't keep you too long. At the front here, you've got the speaker settings here. It may sound a bit funny, this being a preamp. You think, well, you've got speakers on this. It's more like an amplifier, but it isn't. You have to have the the Citation 16 amplifier plugged into this via a special cable that plugs in the back, which I'll show you. That has to be plugged in here to use this actual switch in here. And the actual output comes out this preamp. It goes from here to the main amp, and the main amp back to here, then from here back out onto the speakers. A little bit complicated maybe, but this can be used as a standalone preamp as well. It doesn't have to have that feature. If you haven't got that lead, or you haven't got that amp, you need that lead as well. You can't use this feature. This knob area is redundant. It doesn't do anything, so forget that. If you haven't got that lead to connect up to that amp, or another amp actually, you can use another amp as well, I think. So forget that, unless you've got that other amplifier, like I say, that goes with it. Just going to pair this up, say, to one of my amplifiers, one of my receivers, then forget that, but you can still pair it up. We've got the tone controls here, the equalizer control, should I say. And as you can see, mine's, I'll show you a photo there. You can see mine's faded a bit, and I've got a couple of silver caps off the top of them knobs missing as well, which is a shame. The knobs are missing now, the actual caps on top, and it's a bit faded. But I dare say somewhere along the line you may be able to get a cap to fit on there, or change them 5 controls completely. Change these completely, put them off and put another one on. It won't look exactly the same, but you may be able to get something very similar. And you may know someone that's pretty good at artwork or restoring that maybe can actually paint them or fill them lines back in to get them as they were. But as is, it's not too bad. It ain't the end of the world. Don't forget this is quite old, but I've seen some, there's not many of them about, but I've seen some that's in a lot better condition, I must say, than the front of this one. But other than that, it's got a few little slight scratches and that's little slight marks. Don't forget it is old. If we go over to here, we've got the function switch here, and on the function switch here we can choose phono input 1, phono input 2, a tuner, auxiliary 2 and auxiliary 3. So you've got there 6 inputs there on that particular control. We go to the mode, we've got stereo reversed, we've got mono, we've got the left channel only, which will come out of both speakers, and we've got the right channel only, which will come out of both speakers. We've got the balance control here, and we've got the main volume here as well. Now this volume is a stepper volume, and it's not a pot, it's actually individually, I think a 32 step, I think it is individually resisted all the way along. So it's a resistor in the path all the way along, 32 of them as that goes up. It's not actually like a sweeper, it's not got a variable resistor, it's actually fixed resistors going along that pot, so make sure each channel is dead level. I'm going to have one channel slightly louder than the other, that kind of thing. We come down to the front here, we've got our equalisation on or off, so you can turn this on or off, the equalisation. Then we've got the, what we've got here, we've got the tape dub 1, tape dub 2, the other way around, tape dub 1, tape dub 2. And then we've got tape monitor, not dub, sorry, it's tape dub. Then we've got tape monitor, shall I say, 1, tape monitor 2. So that's a tape dub, tape monitor 2. We've got a subsonic filter there, and we've got the I filter there. So that's the front of the unit. So if I just flick it down, it's quite heavy. Oh, dear. I'll show you a picture of the back now while I'm flicking it round. There's the back of it there. And once I get it in position here, you'll see what I've got here. As you can see, it's quite a few wires here now, but go through this. This is the mains wire, and this one's off 120 volts, this particular unit. Lucky enough, I've got a little step down which is over there. I'll bring out another video, I think, about connecting up HiFi to the wrong voltage, if you know what I mean. You know, connecting maybe UK to American or American to UK. So that's 120 volts there. Lucky enough, I got there before he literally just got this in. The bloke I got it off of literally just turned up on his doorstep, kind of thing. And I whipped it off of him before he'd done anything else. He usually tests them out and all that kind of thing. He didn't have time to do this, and I'm pretty glad he didn't, because he may have got mixed up and tried to jam that in a shaver socket or something like that. So that was pretty lucky, really. On the back here is quite interesting, because we've got 4 outlets here. So once you plug this in, we've got, let's just have a look. We've got a switched, unswitched and switched. So we've got 3 switches and 1 unswitched. Unswitched being the white one. So theoretically we could have our turntable in one of them, tape cassette player in another one. We could maybe, at the time it wouldn't have been like that, but maybe a CD player now plugged into another one. So we can have 4 items plugged in there, and we can control that via this one unit. We can turn them all on and off, or have them via this unit. So when this comes on, 3 of the others would come on, and 1 of them would stay on all the time if we use this socket here. And in the back we've got our inputs, tuner, auxiliary 1, auxiliary 2. Then down the bottom here we've got our tape monitor there in the bottom. Then we've got phono 1, phono 2, we've got auxiliary 3 and another tape monitor down the bottom here. Got a couple of grounds there for the phono inputs. Then we've got our output, so you can use it, like I say, without connecting it up to that other 16 amplifier. You can use any other amplifier receiver. And we've got our outputs here, output 1, output 2, and we've got our tape outputs 1, tape output 2. This connection here, right in the corner here, power amp, this is the connection. You get a lead, a special lead that will connect up to a 5-pin DIN, which will go in there, special 5-pin DIN, and it'll connect back up to that 16, that's Citation 16 amplifier. And you, like I say, you could actually switch the speakers, because this would be the speaker outputs. It's still connected here, as you can see. This would be the speaker output, so the output will come from your amplifier, go into here and back out of here onto your speakers. And I know a lot of people probably want to agree so much with that, because then you're taking an output from one, putting it through another switch, and all these switches in line start to kind of interfere a little bit with the signal, downgrade it a little bit. So it won't be everyone's cup of tea, that particular unit, that particular way of doing it, should I say. But you can still use that unit and just wire it up slightly different. So this switch would do nothing, yet you'll still be able to use this with the other unit. So as you can see, this bloke, whoever had it previous, is obviously using it that way. Shame I didn't get hold of that amp, and shame I didn't get hold of that lead, but I didn't. But as is, I can still use it on my systems. But like I say, probably not going to get the best out of it, and it doesn't probably need a recap as well inside, a bit more money spent on it to make it really, really sparkle. So yeah, I've been using a little transformer with this. I'll probably do another video, I think, talking about using transformers. American to English, English to American, Japanese and all that kind of stuff all the way around. So that's it, a few pictures inside now. As you can see, it's quite nicely laid out inside. Done quite a nice job, all them boards sitting there, and they've all got them connections there with a side connector on the bottom of the chassis. And apparently these connectors are really, really good, not like some cheaper connections and that. So over the years they're still going to hold nice and tight, still going to have a good connection, etc. But yeah, at the end of the day, like I say, I don't really want to do a review on it. It wouldn't be fair, really, I don't think, on this particular unit. Putting it up with maybe one of my amplifiers would really make it shine as much as it should, and also needing the recap as well. But there you go. I just thought I'd show you this Citation 17 Pre Amplifier by Harman Kardon. Like I say, it came out in 1975, but still quite sought after. Quite a few people would like to get hold of one of these even nowadays to put it in their system. So that's it. So I'll say thanks for watching, and I'll see you all soon.